Hi, I'm Samantha Reid. I'm 24, recently moved to Melbourne. So born and grew up in Adelaide, started my racing career back at some of the go-kart tracks in South Australia, and now looking forward to the 2012 Formula 4 Championship. I started racing karts when I was about 8 years old, and it was very much influenced by my dad, who wanted to really teach my brother and I about the mechanics. My brother being 16 months younger than me, we were sort of at an age where it was a sport that we could compete against each other on a fairly level playing field. I was obviously a bit taller, a bit stronger at that sort of age. But in a go-kart it really came down to our minds, and with the added bonus we learn a lot about some basic mechanics, which sort of has fueled both of our careers. When I turned 16 we made the step up to the South Australian Formula 4 Championship, and I did that in the Victorian Championship in 2005, then competed in the 2006 Australian Formula 4 Championship as a privateer, which was a tough gig at the time because I was also battling Year 12 and trying to get through that with good grades so that I could go on to an engineering career, but also trying to find sponsors to be able to fund even getting to these race meetings, which were all over the country. I studied mechatronic engineering, which is sort of a combination of mechanical and electronics, so essentially making things move. And really my interest in that was because I could see how much that was relating to the car industry. I think it certainly helped me as a driver and give me a broader range of knowledge, I suppose. It's been interesting in these last sort of few years watching my friends start to really take note. I think for years they were thinking, why is she still persisting with this goal? Because, you know, to make it in motorsport is very, very tough. If I'd perhaps sat back and settled for being an engineer or something, it might have been a bit of an easier goal, but I'm not one to take the easy road out. I got my learners at 16 in South Australia, and at 16 and a half at the time we were able to progress to our Ps. At the end of sort of a 2-year period on your Ps, it occurred to me that there is no further driver education, that's it. At that point I went and did some research into the driver training industry, what it required to get a certificate for in driving instruction at the time. I started doing a bit of performance driver training, and that also started to give me a bit of an insight into some really basic things that we could teach, I suppose, the general public up there to make a big difference to the crash rates. Now I'm currently working for the Confederation of Australian Motorsport, developing their Ignition program, which is targeted to pre-licence education. So starting to get kids that are sort of 12 to 16 that have that passion for cars, that, you know, can't wait to get in a car when they're 16, starting to educate them on some of these safety basics and I suppose the dangers and risks associated with driving. My main aim has always been to race. I really want to be able to race against the best in the country. But at the same time, my goal has always been not to just arrive and be this one driver. I wanted to be able to turn up and have a package and be more than just that. So the road safety, probably for about the last 5 years now, has become quite a firm focus, and I really do think we can make a big difference to the number of people not just being killed on the roads but involved in serious crashes and injuries. It's a tough question to work out what actually makes you tick in those cars. I really like the mental challenge of trying to string that perfect lap together. You know, to even get one corner absolutely perfect so that you can step back and say there was absolutely nothing I could have done better there is difficult. But to then string that lap together and, you know, put it at the front row of the grid and have really outdone your competition is just so rewarding. So I think it's that chase of something that's so hard to actually get your hands on.